Good morning, everybody. I know y'all see me super bundled up today. It is currently January 17th. I have not dashed in 1 week because I was so sick. I'm not sure what I was sick from. I did get some tests done, COVID, flu, RSV. None of those were it, but I had every symptom of them. But it was a long week. I'm just happy that I am back and I am feeling better. I'm not 100%, but I'm very close. I'm like 98. I just got, a little bit of congestion sometimes, but for the most part, I am good. And a little bit of throat aching, but nothing too serious to where I couldn't try to come out here today. So I'm out here, guys. Out here trying to dash. Now, it is super duper cold. So today I just pray that I'm able to dash. I pray that I'm be safe with the roads. Hopefully it doesn't snow or anything. And, just praying for a good dash day and make some good money. So let's not forget, tip your dashers. All right. And I will see you guys soon. Well, I was going to dash, but funny thing happened. I went to the gas station, to fill up. I got me my coffee. I literally put the gas right in my car, and I got in, and the car wouldn't start. Did not leave the car on running while I was getting the gas, but I drove from my house. I had to go to the post office. The car was running the whole time at the post office, though. I didn't cut it off, thankfully. But I drove all the way to the gas station, and my car wouldn't start once I tried to cut it back on. So now, thank God, I only had to wait maybe about 10-15 minutes because someone came with a tow truck driver came with a cable box or something like that, and he was able to start my car for me. And I'm very kind of disappointed in the gas station attendants. Like, I know I was at a pump because I was literally just getting gas. They're like, you have to figure out a way to try to get your car started because you're at a pump. So you pretty much have to move it like it's not a rush because you car roadside, but you have to move your car. So they pretty much said I gotta ask for a jump. So it's like, okay, like if that's what I have to do, then fine. But it's like, if I'm calling roadside already, then why can't I just wait there? But I guess because it's taking up the spot at the pump. Crazy. But yes, a guy showed up with a tow truck, and he was able to give me a jump. Thanks. The roadside was saying estimated 3 hours, and then I got an update that said it would be 1 hour. So I ain't had none of that time available at this point. I am on. It was just my confirmation that I shouldn't be out today. So I'm about to go to AutoZone right now and price a battery because obviously I need one. And it's crazy because the weather has been so cold, my car has been starting. Like, yeah, it has been hesitating, because it's been so cold. But it's been starting. Like, I drove everywhere I went today. So, I don't really know. But like I said, I'm about to go to AutoZone. I'm about to get it tested. I'm about to price a battery. If I got enough to get it today, I'm going to get it. I think they do them there too. So, I should be fine on that end. But, yeah, my whole day is pretty much not going to happen. Kind of not even in the mood no more, so I'm just about to, I don't know, maybe go home and yeah, so I hope y'all having a good day still. Hope you are having a good day still. I'm thankful because, you know, could have been worse. Just a little blown. See y'all tomorrow.
Hey y'all, so I know I was supposed to go live on Facebook and talk about this story, but I wasn't able to. And yes, I'm laying in my bed because it's early and I'm chilling and my kids are kind of quiet, so I feel like this is the perfect time for me to go ahead and tell y'all this story, well, the rest of this story. So, y'all know out here the weather was really cold and, you know, it was like below zero. So, I've always been told by my dad, like, once the weather gets below zero, you always go outside and start your car for at least 15 to 30 minutes just so that your battery can charge and it gets some running in and, you know, different things like that. So I've always done that since I've had vehicles. And I've never had an issue. Even with the vehicle that I have now, I never had an issue with, you know, going out there starting the car with the battery, period. So, this time when the weather did drop to where it dropped, I knew, like, okay, go outside, start the car, and I literally did it every single day that the temperature was below zero. Did not have an issue. Of course, with it being as cold as it was, the car hesitated, but it started, right? And so I'm like, all right, good, we cool, woo, my baby is rolling for me, right? So one day, I decided that I wanted to try to go and dash because although it had been cold, I wasn't going out because it was super duper cold and I was kind of just getting over being sick and I just did not want to go out. I just did not feel comfortable. So this day particularly, I decided to go ahead and try to go out. The kids, they did let the kids go to school this day. And so I had put the kids on the bus. Everything was good. And I started the car. I had let the car run for a while after putting the kids on the bus. And so I had to make a run to the post office because I had got a letter. I had a certified letter that was trying to be delivered, but I wasn't there. So I'm like, okay, let me roll to the post office. They left, you know, the little delivery receipt that they was trying to deliver it. So I go to the post office. And imagine my car had been started since I put my kids on the bus. That was like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I ended up going to the post office at about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So it had been running for like an hour. So I make it to the post office. I left the car running still. Did not turn the car off. And I went to the post office. They couldn't find the letter for some reason. So she was just like, they're going to deliver it. Okay, cool. I get in the car. And I'm like, okay, I need gas now at this point because I'm about to dash. So I go, and I needed some coffee. So I went to the gas station from the post office. I go to the gas station and I turn the car off. I go inside the gas station, I pay for the gas, I get the coffee, I come back out, I pump the gas. I did not start the car yet. Pump the gas I pump the gas, I put the gas pump back on, I go into the car about to start the car, and it's doing this little like, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, did I leave the lights on? I'm like, did I leave the car like door open or something? I'm like, I know it wouldn't run my battery that fast. So I try it again. Same thing. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why is my car not starting? Now, mind you, I'm still at the pump. I'm still at the pump. So I literally I keep trying to start it. Like about 4 times I tried to start it, and it wouldn't start. So I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Now, mind you, I already said I had just got over being sick, right? And I was only coming out because, I felt like I needed the money. I needed to work. I needed to make some money. So I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm going to have to call AAA. I'm going to have to call my insurance and get somebody to come out here to start my car and all of this extra stuff that I did not want to do. And I was like, yeah, this is just confirmation that I just need to go home. So I go into the gas station because at this point I need to let them know that my car not starting and I can't move my car. So I go in, I tell the attendant, it was a black guy, he wasn't that old, he was maybe like a little older than me, maybe my age. And I told him like, yeah, I don't know what happened, but my car not starting, but I wanted to let y'all know because I am at a pump. And he was like, you're at a pump? I was like, yeah, I just put gas in my car and my car won't start now. And he was like, okay, no worries. He was like, let me go in the back and see if I got a starter kit or something, he said. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that would be great. I was like, I did call, because I think before I went in, I think I called and set up for AAA to come. I think I had already did it on my phone. And yeah, I did already do it before I got out the car, because when I told him that I had already called them and they was on their way, but the estimated arrival time was like 3 hours. And so he was like, 3 hours? He was like, well, let me see if I got something in the bag, because sometimes they keep, I guess, jumper cables or something like that, because if something happens to people, they have ways to kind of help them, whatever. So he goes in the bag, he goes and looks, and he couldn't find nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, can I wait here until AAA comes, because I already called them and they already on the way. He was like, okay, yeah. He was like, let me talk to my manager though, because you are at a pump, so let me make sure and see if that's okay. So I'm like, all right. So he goes and he talks. I'm calling my brother to see if maybe, he can come give me a jump or something. But I don't remember what my brother was doing, but he wasn't in the area. It was going to take him some time to get to me anyway. So I was just like, well, it's okay. I already got, AAA coming. Like, don't worry about it. But I did want to let him know what was going on with my car. So the guy come back out from talking to his manager. Him and the manager come out, and he goes, so he was like, yeah, you can wait for AAA to come. He was like, but because you at a pump, you probably should be trying to get it started. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't understand. He was like, we're not saying you gotta move, but because you at a pump, you gotta try to get it started. I'm like, so then you telling me I can't sit there? I can't wait. Like, don't tell me that I ain't gotta move, but then tell me I gotta move. And actually, both of the people, they were black. You know, they were two black people. The one guy I was talking to was a male, and then the manager, I guess, was a female. And so I was like, I kind of got irritated because I'm like, you telling me I ain't got to move, but then you also telling me I do got to move. So which one is it? I was like, I already got them on the way. Why can't I just wait for them to get here? Because you telling me to try to get my car moved. How? He was like, well, you can ask somebody if they got any jumper cables or whatever. I'm like, but what if that's not the problem? I was like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk up to people asking them if they can give me a jump. Like, I'm a female. Like, I don't talk to random people. So he was like, okay, well, no worries. He was like, let me see what I could do. I'll go ask them. So I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, but if you telling me I can wait, I'm gonna wait. I'm not finna keep going back and forth outside. Like I said, it was cold. So he went outside and he was asking people who was driving up to the pumps or whatever. And he asked this one guy who, I guess he had some type of utility truck and he do some type of work. I don't know. It was a random person. He asked him and the guy said, oh, let me see, because I do normally have some. He was like, but I think I just took him out my car because I had to get somebody else to jump. So the guy went to look, and he told me that he told the guy and that he would be going to look. So I'm like, okay. So I went by the door to wait for the guy to come back in, and the guy come back saying, he's like, oh my God, I don't have him. I did take him out the car. Literally, I just had him in the car yesterday. He was like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's okay. So the guy was like, okay, well, I'm going to keep asking. He was like, don't worry. Like, I'm going to keep asking somebody. And while we waiting on them, I'm going to still be asking somebody. So I'm just like, okay, you could do that. But I'm not doing that. Because it's cold and I'm a female. I'm not walking them to nobody randomly just to ask them if they can jump my car. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So somebody else comes up, this guy. It looked like he was a tow truck. And it was maybe about 15 minutes, 20 minutes of me sitting in the lobby that the guy came up with a tow truck, and the gas station attendant, the guy that I had already been talking to, went up to him quick. Like, I saw the guy pull up and then I seen the gas station attendant go out the door. So I was like, oh, they trying to get me to move for real, for real. I'm like, this is not about, safety or anything like that. This is more so about that pump making money. Because if I'm blocking the pump for an hour or 3 hours, that's pretty much money lost for them. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it about anything else, because it didn't seem like it was about anything else. It wasn't about my safety. It wasn't about it being cold. It wasn't about the fact that my car was stopped. It was about the fact that I was in front of a pump. That's all. So he went out that door so quick. He asked the guy if he had any jumper cables or a starter box or something, they called it. And the guy said yes. He was like, but he only had 5 minutes. So I had to come out there and do it right then and there. So the guy, the attendant, runs back into the gas station. I could see him kind of like running a little bit, which was funny. Because I'm like, he really trying to get me to move. But I'm like, whatever. I want to go home anyway. So he runs back in. He was like, hey, the guy with the tow truck said he has a jumper cable, but you got to go out there because he only got 5 minutes. He can't stay. So I'm like, okay, like, I act like I'm just going to sit here and not let him do it. I want to leave too. So I go outside. I talk to the guy and say, hi. The gas station attendant told me that you had some jumper cables. He was like, yeah, where's your car? And it was literally right next to him, the other pump on the other side. So he just walked across. He was like, pop the hood or whatever. And I popped the hood. And he was like, has your car ever stopped before? I was like, no. He was like, did it stop while it was running? I was like, no. I came here, I turned the car off, I got gas, and then when I came back to start it, it wouldn't start. He was like, okay. And so he put the thing on the car. He told me to start the car, started right up. Boom. He was like, okay, yeah, run the car for about 30 minutes. He was like, and you should be fine. He was like, but you might need a new battery because if it didn't stop while you were driving, then it's not the accelerator or not the accelerator, but the starter. He was like, it's not that, it's probably just the battery. I'm like, okay. So I thanked him profusely, And he went about his way. I thanked the attendant, for helping, asking the guy. But, as I got in the car, it kind of made me feel a type of way. You know what I'm saying? It made me think about what the real reason was that he was trying to get me up out of there. And I don't think it was that they was necessarily trying to help me. I think it was, like I said, they was just trying to get my car away from that pump. So, as I'm driving home, I head to AutoZone. Because I'm like, I need them to look at my battery and see, like, if it's the battery, if I needed something else. Because I didn't know, because I had... stated to my daughter just came in and now she's dancing and stuff. So y'all gonna hear her in the background of this video if she be quiet while I finish telling this story. So I had to she just pushed my leg. So there's my daughter. Okay. So I had to AutoZone on the way home because I'm like, I need them to look at my battery. So I go up there, I tell them what happened, how my car wouldn't start after I turned it off at the gas station. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. He was like, we could check out the battery and see if that's what you need. So I'm like, okay. I was like, but if I turn the car off, it's not gonna start. I'm like, because that's what just happened. He's like, okay, well, you can keep it on until we figure out, the situation with the battery. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we looking up prices of the batteries or whatever like that. Now, mind you, I have not been working. So I only had a certain amount of money in both of my accounts. So when he gave me the price of one battery, it was one battery that was like $150. And I'm like, dang, that's the one that I need. And then the other ones was like way, way, way too high. So I'm like, okay, I can't afford them. The one battery, he didn't even have it in stock. He was going to have to order it because it wasn't in stock. But he was like, he could order it the next day. So I'm like, you telling me I got to come back? Because now, mind you, I didn't have that much in my account. So I'm like, I didn't want to spend everything that I had and be broke and have nothing. So I was like, dang, got to figure out what I got to do. So I was going to call my brother, ask to borrow some money, whatever, so I can get this battery. So that was my plan. That's what I ended up having to do. I asked to borrow the money or whatever. But I had to leave because I didn't have all the money on my card right then and there. I had to get the money from my brother and whatever. So the battery that I saw that day, we were going to pick it up tomorrow because I didn't have the full amount. So he was like, yeah, just come back tomorrow and we'll have a battery for you. Cool. I talked to my brother, got the money, or he was gonna bring me the money. And then I was like, well, I went on my way home. So I got home, I'm like, okay, cool. I know in the morning I'm gonna probably have to call AAA for them to start my car again because it ain't gonna start. So that's exactly what happened. Right, so we're in the next morning, and I went out to start it when my kids was on the way to school, and of course it did not start. So right then and there, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I called for them to come and start my car. So now it's Thursday morning. The initial stop happened on Wednesday. Okay, so Thursday morning I called AAA to get them to come and start my car so that I can go to AutoZone and get the battery because I figured it would be the battery. Put the kids on the bus, wait for AAA, right? AAA got there within the time that they said. I think they told me it was going to be 2 hours, but he got there in like an hour, which was amazing. So he came. I told him the situation happened with the battery. I was like, can you test it? Tell me if it's actually the battery or if it could be anything else. He was like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. And so he tested the battery or whatever. He was like, it's definitely the battery because something in the battery was dead. So that means it was going to make the battery not start how it should. He was like, so you might as well just get a new battery. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And so he was like, we could do the battery right now if you got $300. What? I ain't got $300. I was like, shit. I'm like, that's more than what they was charging me at AutoZone yesterday. I was like, and I ain't had that. He was like, well, the only reason it's 300 is because the battery is actually 200, and then the 100 is just for me coming to do it. He was like, well, how about I just take the 100 off of me doing, I do it to you for free if you can give me 200 right now. I'm like, I ain't got that. Like, I don't even have $200 in my account right now. He was like, well, I can't go no lower than that because the batteries are 200. I was like, yeah, that's what they were showing me at AutoZone yesterday. So he was like, well, I'm gonna give you my card or whatever. He was like, leave the car running if you need to go get the battery. He was like, don't turn it off. And he was telling me about, like, I could probably get some cheaper batteries from Walmart. But everybody know, like, Walmart is, they decent, but as far as, like, I don't take Walmart to get like an oil change. Nothing. Like, I think the only thing I ever did was let them put air in my tires. Like, I've never did an oil change. I've never done any, like, real mechanical work on my car at Walmart because I just don't know who they got working for them. And I'm not trying to do a dig, but that's just what it is. So he told me about it, but I was, I ain't gonna lie, I thought about it because I'm like, man, I save some money. I checked on their website, the batteries wasn't that high, and then they do the free installation. So I was like, that would save me a ton. Like, I wouldn't be spending everything I got in my account. So then I called my brother first. My brother who works on cars and know a lot about cars. I called him, asked him what he would do. Would he take it to Walmart to, save a little bit of money? Or would he just go ahead and go to AutoZone and let them do it? He told me, because of who he is and his standard of his cars and stuff like that, he was like, he wouldn't do it. And I kind of felt that way too, but I just kind of wanted to see if it would make sense. And he kind of confirmed to me that for me, it would not make me feel good by doing that because I wouldn't trust it 100%. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I called my other brother, my brother-in-law, and I'm like, man, like, I need to get this battery put in. And he was like, well, yeah, I did some calling around yesterday, and AutoZone and Advanced Auto Parts, they do the installation for free when you buy the battery from there. I'm like, oh, they didn't tell me that yesterday. Like, I was there at the store after the car had went out. They didn't tell me that they did the batteries for free. I'm sitting up here trying to figure out who gonna get the battery put in, and they didn't even tell me that they put the batteries in for free. So I'm like, oh man, that's what I need right there. I was like, cool, I'm just finna go do that then, because I'm like, they already had a battery there that I can afford, and if they do it for free, that's even better. So I told my brother, he was like, yeah, well, go ahead, let me know. He was like, if you need the extra money or anything, let me know. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go down there, I go to AutoZone, and I talked to the same guy who I had talked to the day before. He was there again, and I'm like, I'll go ahead and get the battery from yesterday, and y'all can put it in for me, right? He was like, oh yeah, that's not a problem. He was like, I just got to make sure it don't have certain things on there, because if it do, then I can't put it in, because that has to be done at a dealership. I was like, okay. So he was saying like something about something that come on batteries, on some of the batteries, that you have to actually do it differently than how they could do it. So, but he wouldn't check the battery. He was like, yeah, it's cool, I could do it for you, there would be no problem. Okay, cool. So now we go and we looking for the battery that he quoted me yesterday, well, the day before, and the battery is not there. They sold out of the battery yesterday. I'm like, what? I was like, you told me you was gonna keep the battery for me. He was like, I don't know what happened. He was like, it's not in the system no more. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I'm like, cause now I don't have enough for these other batteries. So he showed me the next battery above the one that I was gonna have. It was a little bit more. It was like 187. And like I said, I literally only had like $200 and something in my account. And I was just like, oh my God, okay, I'm just gonna have to spend it. I'm like, because at the end of the day, I need to get this battery, and I can't go work, I can't dash if I ain't got a battery. I need my car. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna spend it, and it'll come back, right? That's all I kept saying. Fuck it, that's all I kept saying. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm thinking 187. Okay, it should be like $215, something like that. I have that. He ring it up. Tell me why the total comes out to $226. I ain't gonna tell you I had $215 in my account. $215 total in that one account. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay, I don't have that. I was like, I only got this much in this one account. I was like, can I split it in 2 payments? Like, I have the rest in another account, but just not this one account. He was like, yeah, that's no problem. Like, we could do 2 payments. That's cool. So I'm like, all right, we good then. So I do the one card. I do that for a flat $200. Boom, it goes through. I pulled out my other card. Now this card is like, it's not prepaid. It is a debit card, but it's the card that I use with the account for dashing. So I take that card out, I put it in, it declines. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why is my shit decline? I know it's money in here. Like, I just checked the account literally as I was talking. So I checked the card. The motherfucking card was locked, because I keep it locked because I don't want it to get hacked like it has before. So I keep it locked so can't nothing go through unless like I'm right there letting it go through. So I'm like, fuck, okay, let me just unlock it so the transaction can go through. Unlock the card, try to do it again, and it don't go through. The transaction is being canceled through the system, the register. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck now? So I'm like, what I'm supposed to do now, because it's not letting me use the card anymore over here. So he was like, well, we just cancel it and go to the other register. Okay, cool. So now at this point, we both saying, like, if you canceling a transaction, the one card that I use is going to cancel too. So that's what we thinking. Cancel the transaction. We go to another register. He was like, let's do the balance first, the 26 from the other card that was locked, and then we'll do the rest on the main card. So I'm like, well, I don't think I could do that because the 200 already came out, because I get the notifications on my bank wherever any transactions come through my account. It shows me immediately on both cards. So I'm like, I can't do the rest of the transaction because it already took 200 out. I ain't got an extra 200 just sitting here. So he was like, no, it should be dropping back into your account because we canceled it. So I'm like, okay, we'll just try. So I do the remaining balance first, which is like the $26 on the lock card. That goes through because I unlocked the card. That was the only reason that it declined, is because the card was locked. So we do it again, it goes through. I put the through everything. So then we go back to do the rest of the amount, which is 200. And it doesn't go through because I don't have 200 in my account anymore. So I'm like, well, what the fuck now? Like, now I can't even purchase the battery because where's the other 200? How long is it going to take it to come back into my account? And that is when all hell broke loose, because now at this point they telling me it ain't nothing they can do until the money come back. I'm like, but it came out the account, so technically the motherfucking battery is paid for. Because now, like I said, the 26 balance was paid. The 200 came out already. So that's $226 that I just paid for a battery. But now you telling me I can't get it because the transaction wasn't complete? What? So he was like, if it came out the account, then we have to wait for it to come back so that we can complete the transaction, because technically the transaction wasn't complete because we canceled it on the other side. I'm like, but the money came out. Like, there's no other way for me so you're telling me that I gotta wait like a refund or something for the money to come back, but y'all can't issue me a refund because you never finished the transaction. So I'm confused, right? So he's looking it up, trying to figure out if the money came out, trying to find the transaction. He can't find the transaction. There's no transaction history. Like, there was no receipt printed. There was nothing because he canceled it. So now I'm shitting bricks because I'm like, okay, I'm out money and I don't have a battery. How the fuck I'm gonna get home? What the fuck I'm gonna do? How long can I can't wait 4 days for the money to come back into my account without a battery. So now I'm out $200. I can't even go remake the money up like I was going to, by dashing, because now I'm back at ground zero, even more, less than what I came in. So he tells me that there was nothing they could do, that I had to wait, and I could not get the battery. I'm livid. I'm hot. I'm like, no, there's got to be another way. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just cannot be it. So I literally go to my bank and I tell them what just happened. I'm like, is it showing that the money is coming back into my account? Is it showing anything? They was like, well, it's definitely showing that the money came out. She literally printed out my transaction history and it literally showed that the money was taken out. It wasn't pending. It wasn't, it wasn't pending, in a pending state. It was literally withdrawn. So I took that statement and she told me, she was like, you need to take this back to them and let them know that money came out. We don't have access to it. We can't, the only thing that we could do is dispute it because the money is gone. I'm like, oh my God. So I took the statement back to the AutoZone. I tell them that the money came out. That battery is paid for. At this point, y'all just need to give it to me because it ain't my fault on how the situation happened. And I'm not blaming him either. It just is a really crazy situation. But I'm like, really, at the end of the day, it's out of my hands, it's out of y'all hands. So I feel like at the end of the day, y'all should just give me the motherfucking battery. That did not happen. So he was like, they can't because there's no transaction. They can't even print a receipt because nothing happened, nothing came out. Now, mind you, I didn't say this part. When I went to purchase the battery, okay, I was purchasing it as a order pickup because the battery wasn't in the store. It wasn't in that store. I had to go to another store in another location to get it, but I was able to order it in the store that I was in. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to go to the other store to pick the battery up. They were going to install it. I was just going to pay for it at this store that I was at. So all the while we're looking for the transaction history, I'm like, how are you looking for the transaction history when technically you was making the transaction at the other store? So it's not going to show up in your store. I said, you need to call them and have them check the transaction history because that's the store technically we were making the purchase at. So he was like, okay, yeah, let me call them. And I'm like, how am I telling you how to look up the transaction, when he didn't even think to do that himself? So whatever. He calls the store, tells them about the situation because they already knew that I was coming to get the battery installed, but I was just buying the battery in this store. But it was technically being bought for the store that had the battery, if that makes sense. So anyway, he calls them, asks them to check for the battery transaction and the purchase. They can't find it. There is no receipt that printed. There was nothing. So I'm just like, well, what the... I'm like I said, this is out of my hands at this point because the money gone. I can't come up with another $200. I ain't got it. So I'm like, y'all just need to give me the battery. He was like, we can't. He was like, even if we could, you would have to have a receipt so that they can at least acknowledge that the purchase went through. I was like, I will show them this bank statement just like I showed you. I was like, you know, I don't understand how y'all pretty much are leaving me assed out. Like, no money and no battery. That wasn't okay with me. So, I literally ended up leaving, going home, furious, because now my kids are going to be on the way home from school. So I had to have him start my car because, like I said, I stopped the car for him to put the battery in. And then when he told me that the battery wasn't even in the store, it was like, okay, you're going to have to restart my car. So he restarted my car. I go home instantly. And I'm just like livid because I just cannot believe it. And I'm just like, what the am I gonna do? So I'm like, ain't no way. I was like, so I end up going home or whatever. And I'm just like, no, we're gonna have to go back up there Friday because I'm not waiting over the weekend for some money to come back into my account. So they told me before I left that the money should be back in my account the next day, which would have been Friday. I ended up talking to, hold on. I ended up talking to one of the store managers before I left, and he tried to look it up. He tried to call different people, and he really didn't understand how the money wasn't back into the account right away because there was no transaction that took place. It canceled, so it should have went right back. But he was like, he called somebody in their corporate office, and that the corporate office said that the money should be back in my account in 24 hours once they shut everything down. So all declined transactions, all incomplete transactions would restart the system, and it would knock the money back into my account or something. That's what he was saying. But he said 24 hours. So I'm like, okay, I'll be back in the morning so that, you know, I could complete the purchase. Because, you know, I'm not trying to get nothing for free. But at the same time, if I pay for something, give me what I paid for, you know, at the end of the day. So I go back home, live it. Kids come home, my car, you know, didn't start, whatever, the whole day. So I'm furious. And I literally, my whole day was just fucked up. So the next day comes or whatever, and I go outside to start my car. Oh my God, the car started. So I'm like, damn, like that's great. But I'm like, man, I still need this battery though. So I leave my car running for like 2-3 hours, and no, I left it running for like an hour because they opened up at like 7. And so I put my kids on a bus immediately, and I go back to the store. And this was at like 8:30. I was there early in the morning, and I get there, and he was like, I forgot. When I left the store, they also ordered the other battery to come to that store, so I don't have to go to another store. And so once I got there, he was like, the same guy that I have been dealing with. He was like, hi, Miss Holmes. He was like, your battery is here. He was like, let's get this handle for you. You know, I was like, okay, cool. Thank you. You know, I'm trying to get this handle too. You know, and I wasn't trying to give nobody a hard time. And they wasn't trying to give me a hard time either. So I will say that. But it was just a really crazy, unfortunate situation. So I checked my account, and I let him know, like, the money didn't come back. Like, I'm still out $200. And it didn't come back to my other account either. But that transaction was now in the pending state. He was like, the money didn't come back. I was like, no. And they was like, okay, so that's a problem. He was like, because once we shut down everything yesterday, it should have kicked it back to your account. I was like, well, it didn't. I was like, and I ain't leaving here without a battery today. I was like, this is not finna take for the rest of the weekend. I was like, I need the battery today. The battery is technically paid for because I don't have the money. I showed him my bank account through my app from my phone, and that the money was still gone. So they had to call management. They had to call the other store manager that we had talked to yesterday, and they told them that it would come back. He told him what happened. The money did not come back, and he was telling him, unfortunately, that they couldn't give me the battery because technically it's not paid for. I was like, well, technically it is, because the money gone. I forgot to say a backstory too. When I was talking to the manager at the store, when he was telling me that the money would come back into my account, he was saying that he would give me the battery tomorrow. He was like, and that he would give me it for free. He was like, because it is an inconvenience. He was like, that's just what I'm ready to do at this point. So I'm thinking when I come back into the store, whether the money came back or not, that he was giving me the battery. So when I went back to the store on Friday morning, and he called him again, and he was like, well, we can't give you the battery. I'm like, well, y'all told me that you was going to give me the battery because of the inconvenience and, the whole situation that I'm going through. He was like, yeah, but it's $200. That's a whole lot of money that we can't prove that we got, and we can't let a $200 battery walk out the door. I'm like, but you're not. I'm like, if y'all telling me the money is going to come back, then I will come back and pay for the damn battery if the money come back into my account. I said, but as of right now, the money gone and the battery is paid for. I was like, I'm not leaving here without a battery. Period. So y'all need to figure it out. So literally, when I say we called store managers, regional managers, and everybody was saying the same thing, that the money was going to have to wait to come back into my account 3-4 business days. Oh, no, you got me fucked up. It ain't happening. I ain't waiting. I was like, and my money gone. I was like, so at the end of the day, somebody finna give me a motherfucking battery. So I talked to one of the managers. I end up leaving. I end up going to my bank, and I end up telling them, because the regional manager told me to get a stop payment on the transaction for the money so that they could come right back to my account. I'm like, but how can I get a stop payment on the money if y'all telling me that the money never went to y'all? So what? That doesn't make sense. So I'm talking to my banker, and I'm frustrated. I'm crying. I kind of break down because I'm like, this is too much. All I want is for my car to be good. And my banker sees me at the teller, and she kind of like pulls me in her office, and she was like trying to calm me down and everything. And I'm just like, this is just too much going on. It's been 2 days and I have nothing. So I tell her the situation, and she was like, the money definitely came out of your account. She was like, but the only thing that we could do is just dispute it, and you still gonna have to wait. She was like, so there's nothing that they can do on their end to stop payment or anything because the payment is already gone. She was like, it's not like a pending payment. So the regional manager calls me back while I'm sitting there in front of the banker, and he tells me, he goes, I had some time to think about it, and I want to let you know that our first priority is, ensuring that our customers are happy with our service. He was like, so what I want to do for you today is I'm going to give you the battery. He was like, but I'm confident that money is going to come back. He was like, so you go back to the store, they'll put the battery in for you, no problem. He was like, don't worry about it. When the money come back into your account by Monday, he said, I have faith that you will come in and finish paying for the battery. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm like instantly now I'm crying happy tears because they just said they're going to give me what I need. So now, mind you, the banker is sitting right in front of me, and she hears this whole conversation. And then I asked him, I said, well, what if the money don't come back? He was like, well, I've been dealing with this for over 20 years. The money is going to come back. He was like, because the transaction was canceled, there's no way that it don't come back because we didn't get the money. He was like, so I'm confident that it's going to come back. He was like, don't worry about it. Woo, woo, woo. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm telling you now, I'm going to go get the battery. But if the money don't come back, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not coming back to pay for shit if that money don't come back. So that was Friday. I went and got the battery. I got it installed. I recorded that. I'm going to drop that in this video as well. I recorded the installation. He put it in there. He gave me a receipt. Now, I think they rung up a battery. They gave me a receipt. It has my name on it from my account and a warranty for the battery. I have that. Now, before, I didn't get a receipt. So, I guess they redid the transaction. I don't know how they did that. But I ended up getting a battery with a warranty. He installed the battery. And I was happy-go-lucky, right? So that was Friday. All of that happened, yes. So I'm like, okay, we'll wait. We'll wait till Monday, whatever. See for the money to come back. Monday comes, no money. I'm like, well, it ain't come back. I'm just watching the account at this point. Tuesday comes, no money. Wednesday, I got another deposit, but it wasn't $200. I'm like, okay. Thursday, Friday, the money never came back. So I'm just like, I ain't gonna worry about it, because in my eyes, that means it's paid for, which is what I had said this whole time. Now, where the money went in their system, I don't know. But I know it ain't in my account. I know it never came back to my account. And so, technically the money's still in limbo or wherever they said it's at. Because I don't know. It ain't in my account. So, yeah, y'all. That was crazy. That's never happened to me before. And actually, today is Saturday. And I waited this whole week to see if the money was going to come back. And it didn't come back. That's why I did not go live, because I was waiting on the money to come back to my account. And it didn't. And it still hasn't to this day. So, in my eyes, that battery got paid for from the beginning. So, yeah, y'all. That was my AutoZone horror story, honey. Like I said, I don't blame them. I just feel like it was something happened as we were trying to do the two different cards. And I know when that one got declined, and I tried to use it again after I unlocked it, the computer canceled the whole. It wouldn't even let me use the card anymore. So I don't feel like it was my fault. They said that they do the transactions like that a lot, where people have to use multiple forms of payment, and they said that happens a lot. So, but for me, it ain't never happened where the money came out and then it was gone, and I'm just stuck with nothing. Like, that ain't never happened to me before. Like, none of this has ever happened to me before. Like, I don't know. It was just crazy. But yeah, y'all, that's what happened. And I hope y'all enjoyed the story. I tried to remember everything, but it was like I was forgetting some stuff, but then I was remembering as I was saying, so that's why I had to go back and say, like, this happened, this, whatever. But yeah, so this video is very long. I was not expecting it to be this long, but yeah. So I'm gonna insert the videos of him putting in the battery too. Story. Then I'll talk to y'all again later. Bye. Oh, this is a new one too. 124.
Yup.
That's the day it was ordered?
That's the day that it was like distributed. No, not distributed. Fucking like rolled off the factory floor.
Right. Good, good.
All right, T.
All right, babe. Give me all this damn old trouble. Shit. Just out here trying to make some money.
Right. Come on, let's do it. Right quick. Let me go in. I'm gonna grab the thing. I'm gonna clean these for you as well, cause I'm putting on grease for you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Come on, it's almost good. It's in there. I don't give a damn. Yeah. I swear this has been, it's almost unbelievable, right? Like what the things that I go through. Like this is not just an isolated situation. Yes, my battery has not been replaced since.
Sorry.
Cause